how do you showcase your value? Because if you don't see value within yourself, it's going to be really hard for you to communicate your value to clients. And if you don't communicate your value to clients, guess what you're always going to be competing on? Price. Hello and welcome back to the Beauty Industry Leaders podcast and part 2 of our 5-part series about what the smartest beauty CEOs are doing to stay ahead in 2026. I'm your host, Sammy Kennedy, and today Elli and I are unpacking why the savvy beauty business owners are ditching the price war and building irresistible, value-driven offers that clients can't wait to book at premium pricing.
And if you're stuck yelling, book now for 20% off into the algorithm, this episode is your permission slip to step back, design a signature offer, and lead with a transformation instead of a price tag. Sammy, let's get started. What is your personal update?
Ooh, my personal update is kind of leading on from the last episode we did in this series where I was feeling a bit down and out and like, oh, what the hell am I doing with my life? I actually put up a post on Instagram explaining the situation and had a lot of positive feedback, surprisingly. And what I wanted to share is how I got out of that negative mindset within a matter of days, when in the past it could have taken me a matter of weeks or months. So I was literally in this position where I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. I was like, why am I doing this? What is it all even for? Does anyone even listen? Does anyone even want to work with me? Am I even making an impact? Like just really spiraling. And usually I would just drown myself in more work and keep trying to do more and more things and load up my plate. But this time I went, that's actually not very helpful for me. The thing that I'm avoiding is seeking clarity on what is it that I want to do? What do I need to focus on? And my purpose, my why. So what I actually did was I didn't work for a day. I went to the gym. I went and pumped some heavy weights, got that endorphin rush, and then I came back home, laid in bed because it was raining and miserable, and started reading this book, Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. I absolutely love it. Like I always come back to it whenever I need a bit of a mindset reset. And it was really great because I was just reading certain things about self-worth and purpose and what we value. And it became really clear to me that sometimes we get so caught up in trying to do so many things, trying to look busy, trying to have all these achievements, trying just so hard to do a million things at once when really we're distracting ourselves from doing the thing that we really need to do. And for me, I hadn't launched Booked, Banked and In Demand properly. Like I'd done some podcast ads, which I loved. I had gone and created this whole course, done all the automations. You know, I got halfway through creating ads and just, I stopped. I didn't even press play on it. And I just kind of felt like I wasn't going anywhere and failing. And then I realized that's what I was avoiding. I was doing all these new shiny things like the retreat and like getting all these guests on the podcast, which don't get me wrong, I am loving. But I was actually distracting myself from not launching. And so when I was kind of in that dark place, I, instead of usually shutting everyone out like I normally would, I reached out to a few people that like I'm good friends with and really respect in the industry. I gave Danielle a call from Bobby Charles. I was talking to Tara Shaw. I had Jade from Labby Lash, and like I was speaking to Ellie. There were just so many different people like Isabella Lonregan, all these people that I look up to or that I value and know have good intentions. They're not ever setting out to destroy you or like trying to figure out why you're struggling. Like, and they just genuinely listened and gave me some feedback, gave me the best hype up speech I needed to keep going. And I was like, wow, all right. So I started shifting my mindset instead of focusing on all the things I was not doing and I didn't have, I started thinking about what are all the things that I do have? What am I grateful for? What have I achieved? And I reached out to a few clients and I checked in. How are you going? What are some of the wins that you've been having lately? How can I support you more? Have you got any feedback for how I could improve? And I just started having all these beautiful messages start coming in about client wins, results they were having. I'm actually going to read out one of these reviews that I got from Booked, Banked and In Demand because I was just blown away that someone would actually write this.
Oh, this is so
And
nice.
I know it was like a full 360 with full 180, I don't know, whatever the saying is. But basically, I got this review from one of my beta testers, Tani Rowan. She is the virtual beauty assistant expert. I keep getting it always messed up. Virtual beauty expert, sorry. And she said before joining Sammy's Booked, Banked and In Demand course, I was plodding along, doing the bare minimum. I spent far too much time comparing myself to others and wondering why leads were not coming in. I was missing key elements and felt stuck, overwhelmed, and dangerously close to burnout. Every challenge you can imagine, I had it. Pricing struggles, lack of clarity, self-doubt, zero direction. I knew something had to change. I chose Sammy over other educators because of the way she showed up herself. From the first DM, she was kind, responsive, and genuinely interested in what I had to say. There was no hard sell, just a conversation to see if we were aligned. On our first call, it was obvious how knowledgeable she was. Her training was created from lived experience, not just theory. And then here's the juice. Like she says, since starting the course, I have gained so much clarity. I have made changes to show how I show up online and tweaked the way I message leads using Sammy's scripts and guides. This alone has saved me hours of time and stopped the endless cycle of time wasters asking for prices and disappearing. Now I am getting genuine leads from people finding me on Instagram, search who already know they want to work with me. I finally feel confident in creating strategies, not just for my own business, but for my clients too. They are seeing results and moving towards being fully booked and in demand themselves. So just for reference, like she is a virtual assistant for beauty salon owners, but she's based in Australia. And then she said, I also did her bonus course on burnout and hiring a VA. This was a game changer. I used the process to hire my own VA and the response was incredible. I received 26 applications and 6 were so good it was nearly impossible to choose. My VA has already helped me set up systems I kept putting off and has become a brilliant sounding board. I never thought I would be in a position to bring someone on board to support me in my own business. For the first time in almost 3 years, I feel like I'm running an actual business and not a hobby. I'm excited again, dancing around in my growth era and genuinely proud of how far things have come. If you're sitting on the fence, here is what I would say. Staying stuck is not a smart business move. This course helps you move the needle, even if you think you do not have time. This is exactly why you need it. Or hire a VA to go through it for you so you can finally get your time back. I'm so grateful for Sammy. Not only is her course excellent, but she is excellent. And I read that and I just started crying. I was like, oh my gosh.
Is that a review or was that a blog for you? Like,
Yeah, that was a review on my Google profile. I was just like,
too.
I sat there and I was like literally at the point where I was like, I've spent like over 40 grand on this podcast and I feel like I give so much online, but my views are tanking on Instagram. And like I was just at the point where I was like, what the hell is all of this for? And then I got that review. I got some other ones. I got messages. I actually interviewed someone on the podcast who you'll be really excited when our episode comes out. She's a paid ads expert and just getting an email after that saying that was the best interview I've ever had. And, you know, I just kind of sat there and I was like, I could have given up at that moment. I could have thrown the towel in. And what I realized is even on those days where you feel really down and you're not going anywhere, it's like there's people who are counting on you. Like if you want to give up, take a break, have a nap, read a book, call some friends, go binge watch some Vampire Diaries, do whatever you need to do to reset and then shift your mindset and start looking at the positives, because if I didn't shift and start looking at what I'm grateful for or what I already do have, I don't think half of those messages would have come in. Like it just really changed. Like I had an opportunity to stay stuck or change the way I show up. And because I did that early on, instead of letting it linger for weeks on end, I've actually created some really new opportunities. I'm going to ABR and Expo now. I'm presenting Isabella. Like there's so many cool things that happen like within that week of me just going, nah, that's it. So if you want to give up, don't give up. Take a break, take a breather, especially if you've just been on your period. Oh my gosh. Like do not make any final decisions on your period. Lol. But like, yeah, I think why I wanted to share that is because I know a lot of people see us on social media and they're just like, oh, they've got it all together. They've got all these posts here. You know, they got this podcast, but I'd be absolutely lying if I said there weren't days where I'm like, what the hell am I doing? You know? And I love having you on the podcast, Ellie, because it's someone I can talk to. When I used to do solo episodes, it's like talking to a brick wall. You don't know if anyone's laughing at your jokes. You don't know if anyone's like rolling their eyes as you say something, or if they're like, wow, that's so amazing. But yeah, that was my little takeaway. And like, look, I'm going to actually put it out there at the start of an episode because I always forget to do this. Like genuinely, if you've been listening to this every week or you've just started or you've shared it with someone, can you please stop, pause the episode and leave a review on Apple Podcasts? We don't get any rankings if it's on Spotify. Spotify sucks. They have their own system. It doesn't really help us rank or anything like that. But like genuinely, I have done my absolute best to give as much value as I can on this podcast for you. All I'm asking is, can you please take 30 seconds out of your day, go into Apple Podcasts, leave us a review, let us know what your favorite thing has been about the show, because that actually helps us grow. And we are also offering someone a 60-minute session with Elli and I who leaves a review. Don't make your review a weird name like Kitten Socks 1258. I'm not going to know who you are and won't be able to reach out, but please leave a review, link your Instagram below. We'll reach out. We've got a 1-hour session where we can both have a look at your business and offer some strategic advice. But Elli, on another note, how is everything going for you? I know you're in your final weeks of pregnancy. I know that you've got the camera tilted and we can't see your belly right now, but you are popping.
I am. I'm a big mama. I feel like between the start of us recording podcasts, the fluid in my face has just gone out and out and out more. But no, I am doing good. It's funny that you talk about the week that you had, you know, just feeling like you want to give up, and how we do, it is perceived that everything's put together and it runs smoothly and all those things, because I literally have had the time now that I've finished up the full-time job, not the side hustle, to actually look and try and really plan out, you know, what next year would look like, and making sure that I've still got 6 clinics that want to have me on board, like pronto in January. And it's amazing. Like, it's amazing. I couldn't be more grateful. I mean, part of me is like, this baby is obviously amazing and we're so happy, but it's always when things are rolling or when things aren't rolling that something else, you know, is kind of there. So I had to sit down and I was mapping out what next year looked like, from like down to the minutes and the time that I would have and how I would make sure how that time looked. But we all have moments of feeling like, how are we going to do it and what's that going to look like? And it's lucky that we have the support we do in one another, I suppose, because 2 brains, 3 brains, 4 brains are better than no brains. And when you are reminded of the impact you have on these people's businesses, or even just their own mindset, like I came out of a 3-hour meeting this morning with one of my clients and I was like, how are you feeling now? And she's like, I actually feel like I can breathe.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, we didn't go with the plan of attack for the day. Like, we had a plan of attack of what we wanted to approach. Once I got into the meeting, it didn't align with what she was actually physically needing to be able to get her through the next week. And so we shifted and we pivoted what we were going to discuss. And every time I come out of a meeting, I obviously always ask them, how are we feeling? Do we feel like we've gotten the value? You know, all of those things. It just is like, you make it happen. You're going to make it happen. So, yeah, heavily pregnant, going to birth this child, and we're just going to keep the ball rolling and keep it happening.
Well, there's no going back now. Like,
no, not. He's head down, limbs up, ready to like enter this world any minute.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
So let's start on today's topic, which is how we can stop competing on prices and start leading with value. What happens to a brand long term when the only marketing lever is sale?
Well, I think you see this happen especially for a lot of startups because they don't understand how to get clients and they don't necessarily have the skill set either, so they can't charge it full price. So what happens is they get quite comfortable with discounting their services, running promotional offers, discounts, sales all the time, just trying to build up the clientele. And I think that does work, and it is fair in a sense of like, okay, you aren't necessarily skilled enough to be charging premium prices. You've got to build up a clientele somehow. But I think where a lot of people go wrong is if it takes them 3 years to get fully booked because they don't understand marketing, they don't understand sales, they don't know how to grow a brand, they fall into this trap of just constantly running their business with sales or promotions or discounts. And so there's two kind of ways that we see it. Like, I know that some people will do promotional sales. Some people will do a new sale every damn month. I have seen the most stupid sales. I'm not going to lie. Like, I get Mother's Day sale, but like sometimes I've seen, oh, we're doing a Father's Day sale. We're doing a Labor Day sale. We're doing an Australia Day sale. I'm like, why are you doing those sales? Do they even align to your business or your ideal clients? Like, I think people just start doing all these sales because they just think they should be. But what happens is you train your audience to always wait for the sale. A good example of this, and I've spoken about it, is Nick. He will only buy laser when it's 50% off and doing those big packages. He will never pay for it at full price. And why would you when you know that they're always doing sales? They've even taught their staff, like when he walks in, he's like, hey, I just got this. And they're saying, oh, just wait until the end of the month. We've got our sale on. And so people will not value your services at full price. And what can happen from that is that you attract a lot of time wasters and nightmare clients. And what this can do, if you're always attracting the time wasters, the nightmare clients, you get bad reviews, you're always running sales so people don't trust that you're actually good at what you do. Like, you know, when you see something on special, for example, fruit all the time, like, there's a reason why it's on special. It's probably the odd bunch, or it's been dropped, or it's about to go out of season, right? Same thing with your services. So that brand reputation can do more harm than benefit long term. And then if we're looking bigger picture, you're going to have a lack of profitability. You're probably barely breaking even or running at a loss. The amount of times I've done profitable pricing sessions and the services that are being offered aren't even profitable to begin with. You don't have 20% to even offer a discount. Like, you have to be across all of the numbers to know if you can even run that discount without it impacting your bottom line. And then the last thing is, it's going to create a loss of confidence for you as a business owner because you're not going to feel good enough. You're not going to feel worthy because you're always undervaluing yourself. And I think when you look at how you're going to run a business, how you're going to show up, if you're always undervaluing yourself and undercharging, you build resentment. If you build resentment, you don't like clients, you don't like your team, you bring this negative energy in. So like, I know it sounds like a small thing, just running this sale, but there's such a bigger picture and greater impact that we need to look at, and how we use it, if we do, strategically to boost your business, not actually burden it.
I'm going to go rogue here on our chat because it kind of ties in. It's obviously end of financial year, right? So everyone's putting up their prices. Now, there was a business that had this massive rant on how, you know, nobody should complain when price rises happen. And then a few businesses shared it, and I just died on the inside because I thought every year we have a price increase, and you don't see McDonald's or Gloria Jeans or any big franchise even bother to tell you that they've had a price rise. You would expect it. But why does everyone feel like they need to share it? Like, if you value what you've got, there should be no need to be like, we've had a price increase. I think you can, from a discretion point of view, ask your clients prior to them booking, would you like a quote on that, an updated quote? And if they say, no worries, then it's not like you didn't offer it. But have you seen, I feel like I've seen so many businesses be like, price increase. And it's like, it's going to increase. The cost of living's increasing, the cost of products, the cost of goods, all of that. Why do we need to actually put it out there that, oh, we've had a price increase? Only for what purpose? I don't know. I just think it's so stupid.
I was actually talking about this in a guest episode with Brooke from She Sells, and she does high ticket remote closing. And this was something that really got us thinking, like, why do women feel the need to justify themselves? If it was a guy, they're like, here's the price, take it or leave it. Females are like, oh, do you want a discount? Should we do this? And I think especially in the beauty industry, women don't feel confident. They don't feel confident to charge. They don't feel confident to put in boundaries. They don't feel confident enough to say no to the wrong people who walk over them, people who have these expectations that are unrealistic, people that treat them like crap. And so when I have clients come to me and they're like, oh, everyone's going to leave if I put my prices up by that much. And I'm like, the only people it's going to weed out are the nightmare clients, the time wasters, the people who you already have this icky feeling when they come in for a service. And at the end of the day, instead of making it this depressing thing about, unfortunately, due to the rising cost of living, we're going to have to put our prices up, it sounds like you're blaming the cost of living and then your clients are the ones paying the price. Like, I would never take that approach. Whenever I've looked at my clients, I'm going, here's all the exciting things that we've been investing in. Here's how we're making improvements to your client experience. And as a result, there will be a price increase, but I don't have to sit there and explain it. And I think the more time you take trying to explain and justify, the bigger the hole you dig. And a perfect example of this is if you ever watch a beauty pageant and they ask a question and she doesn't know the answer and then they just keep talking and talking and talking and it's just like, stop.
Yeah.
I'm so with you, Ellie. I think so many people fall into this trap in our industry where they feel the need to justify. But if you're listening to this right now, you don't. It comes down to the value you offer clients, and that's what this episode is about. How do you showcase your value? Because if you don't see value within yourself, it's going to be really hard for you to communicate your value to clients. And if you don't communicate your value to clients, guess what you're always going to be competing on? Price.
So why do so many beauty therapists or pros default to pricing wars instead of valuing their positioning? Like, if we look at it from that perspective.
Well, number one, they don't understand how to communicate their value to market their services effectively. So they compete with the only thing they know how to leverage, which is price, right? So if I have a service and you have a service and I can see yours is $20, then I'll go, oh, if I want to get more clients, I'll just charge $15 because it's the same thing, right? Why would you pay more if you could get the exact same thing for cheaper? So that's like the naturally wired way of thinking. So these are the types of businesses who have zero strategy with their business. They are the queens of copycats. Like, they'll copy people's service menus, descriptions, timing, prices. You know, they have such a scarcity mindset that they are like, I have to do what everyone else is doing. And it's exhausting because with no strategy, it's really hard for you to know where you're headed in business, what improvements you're making, or what makes you different. And so what I see is people get too focused on things like time, the features, and the price, but they never consider the value, benefits, and transformations to the ideal client. 78% of consumers will pay more for a service when they understand the outcome and expertise behind it. And this is why when you go into those Facebook groups and you see all these posts saying, 20% off today or 40% off, book now, message me if interested, they never get any comments because you're shoving this offer in someone's face. They don't understand who it's for, why they would want it, how it's going to help them. And I want to give an example about time versus outcome, which is the profitable pricing calculator, right? I've had clients who sit through this with me. It's a 90-minute session. It's $697. And people might sit there and base it on the time. Oh, I only get 90 minutes with her. But for me, I've seen the long-term impact. So I know that there's businesses who haven't been making a profit for 5 years. They've paid thousands in tax, thousands to the ATO, thousands to their accountant, and they're still not getting any kind of clarity around why they're not actually having a thriving or financially successful business. In that 90-minute session, we're going through all of their break-even costs, their product costs, the break-even cost plus products, so they know exactly what each service costs them to offer. Is it profitable? How much GST is in it? Like, literally every single thing you could think of, we break it down in that session. And then The people who do that, they end up finally paying themselves a wage, finally investing, finally being able to pay off that debt, finally having cash profit at the end of the taxable year. And so you've got to think it's not just about, hey, buy this calculator. It's about what are all the problems that that person is experiencing and what are all the transformations and the solutions that I provide. So when you start looking at the value, and the way I like to communicate value is looking at like, what's the physical before and after? What's the emotional transformation? How do they feel before and after? What's the lifestyle transformation? How do they feel before and after? Is it convenience? Is it being able to gain more time back? Like, what are you doing to make a greater impact? Because it's not just the service itself. It's everything else surrounding the service, which is why the person will actually buy it. So you've got to look at seeing value in yourself. So if you don't know how to showcase your value, you need to look at how can I present this in a jaw-dropping offer that has people asking, where the hell have you been all my life, and wanting to pay you in full. And that's what we're going to talk about here. But do you have anything else to add, Ellie?
I feel like you've covered it all. And I feel like you really hit the nail on the head when it comes to the emotional side as well. Like that was like my client this morning. What we did in that 3-hour session had added more value than what we had planned, because at that point in time, that's exactly what she needed. Your profitable pricing, profitable calculator is an epic tool. An epic tool. If people haven't used it, they need to get onto it, because I would be paying $700 for that session with me knowing the outcomes that you've had on it.
Oh, 100%. Ellie, you've had a huge success with clients who've mapped out their promotional offers with the annual marketing calendar. For business owners who say, I don't know how to create an offer, I just have services, where do they start?
The first place that I start is analyzing the data. So we really look at, we review the last year and, what was your most successful month? What wasn't your most successful month? Why was it? We kind of do it. We do a whole session just reviewing, staff, services, whether we've had adverse events, trainings, all those types of things. And we map out what last year looked like. And then we kind of sit there and we will look at, the most popular services versus the least popular. We will go through the likes of products we need to shift and move off the shelf as well. But the other things we kind of focus on is the KPIs for the year. We focus on how we're looking to charge, like how much are you charging and how many of those would you need to sell to reach the target. We always reverse engineer this one. If you don't know what's profitable, that's your first clue to dig into your numbers and use something like a profitable calculator. And that will help you make the decisions based on facts and not feelings. I really look at the seasonal needs for your clients. And when mapping out their promos, not sales, I'm making sure that they really link into the next promo, so it flows through for the client's needs. I feel like that's probably, without having to go into the whole session, that's probably a brief overview of what we do. How do you nail, Sammy, your signature offer and the marketing messaging behind it so that you can stand out from the saturated market and become the go-to in your area?
Well, I'm probably given this question to you before and all my other clients, but it's like if you were getting paid 10x the amount that you currently are to provide this service, what additional value would you give the customer to make them feel like it was 100% worth it? So like an example of this is if you usually charge $200 for a facial, what would you do if you had to provide a $2,000 facial? Would you sit there on your phone while the machine's doing all the work, or would you get your hands in there, give them a massage, their shoulders, their neck, their back? Would you have the steamer out? Would you have, essential oils, whatever it is? How would you make such an incredible and valuable experience worth that amount of money? And that's where I always start, because if I can start thinking bigger about how much more value I can provide, it starts helping me feel more confident about the price point. If you don't feel like what you're offering is valuable, You need to start listing out all of the things that you would offer in a service step by step, and then think about the time, the experience, the quality of products, like all these different factors. How does that contribute to the value? Now, with an offer, you need to make it really clear about who it's for. So, for example, if you did a pro-aging facial, because you're not someone who goes down the anti-aging path, like pro-aging, okay, well, that's not going to be for the 20-year-old with perfect skin. That's not going to be for the person who is having massive acne breakouts right now. It is going to be for the woman who's probably like 35, 40 plus, and they're starting to notice all these fine lines and wrinkles. They want to invest in their skin. They care about the self-care. They want to gain back that confidence. So get really clear. The more specific you are about the person who would need this service, the problems that they're facing, the outcomes that they want, the higher the conversion is going to be for you. And then when you're really clear on that, I would be thinking about, okay, well, what is the name of this offer? It has to be catchy. It has to be unique. It has to stand out. It could even have the ideal client called out in it, but you can't just make it skin facial offer. Like, it's just boring. It needs to be the relaxation, like indulge, or I don't know, use something that's going to make someone feel an emotion and connect them to wanting that offer. Now, the other thing I like to look at is, what is the problem that ideal client would be facing? What is the solution that I'm providing? And then what's the transformation they get once they've been throughout that whole process? So simple stuff. Get your note paper and pen out. Note paper? No, that doesn't make sense. Get your pen and paper out and start writing notes is what I'm trying to say. So like, there's 3 kind of lists that I would be making. Number 1 is all the pain points that they're experiencing before the service. So emotional, physical, lifestyle. So pain points. Then the next list is all the incredible things that they would experience after having the service. So this is their hopes, dreams, desires. And then I want you to list out in the 3rd list every single thing you do. So this is your inclusions in that service from start to finish. So literally from the moment they walk in, do you offer them tea? Do you give them an affirmation card? Do you lay them on the bed? Do they get to get changed into something? Does this have, like, list it out, the whole client journey from start to finish. And then if your client journey sucks and it's pretty vanilla and basic, revamp it. Ask yourself, if they were paying 10x the amount, what additional value would I add? And then map that into your client journey. Now, the most important part of this is to add your spice. I don't know, everyone says secret sauce. I think spice sounds better. Like, be a spicy margarita, be interesting. Add in your point of difference. So what is unique about this service? What do you do differently? How is it going to stand out from every other bloody person who's offering the same service as you? Because we're not going to be the same. We're going to be different. I was chatting with a salon owner the other day who said, Sammy, I feel like I'm constantly working, but nothing's actually working. She was posting daily, reels, stories, replying to DMs between clients. Her team looked to her for everything, and she still lay in bed at night wondering if next week's bookings would cover the bills. Sound familiar? That's exactly why I created Booked, Banked and In Demand. It's the system I wish I had when I was burnt out, overwhelmed, and wondering if all this effort was ever going to pay off. And it's now helped over 300 beauty business owners get off the income roller coaster and actually grow, filling their books, boosting their income, and finally building a business that gives back instead of draining them. Inside, I'll show you how to attract clients with content that actually converts, use AI and done-for-you scripts to save 20 plus hours a week, hire your first VA and delegate the entire back end of your business, and build a system that keeps your business booked without burning you out. So if you've been craving clarity, clients, cash flow, and calm, this is your shortcut. Click the link in the show notes and join Booked, Banked and In Demand now. Let's build a beauty business that doesn't run you into the ground. That is the key. You got to get really clear on that one thing that clients absolutely love or they crave, and do it differently in a way no one else does. Then you want to create a high value description in ChatGPT. If you're in Booked, Banked and In Demand, there's literally a section of this in the first module, which teaches you exactly how to revamp your whole service menu so that it's optimized for your clients to book in. But literally just go and list out every single step of that service that you're offering, and then get ChatGPT to put it into a description who explains who it's for, what it does, how it works, and then why they should book it. Like, what are the benefits? Like, those are the main things that you want to be hitting in your descriptions. Otherwise, it's like, no one cares what a lymphatic drainage facial is or a AHA, BHA, this peel. Like I've said on many podcast episodes, why would I want to peel? That sounds horrible. I would not want my skin to peel. Like, I've had sunburn. It's not a vibe. So, like, use language that's going to make sense for your ideal client and really attract them. And most of all, like, if you want higher conversions, and like Ellie does in her annual marketing calendar, you can actually look at when you're structuring these promotions. So, for example, if it's seasonal, it might be you do a winter facial, or if it's summer, you might do a summer glow up package. I don't know. These are just random things I'm coming up with. But you can either use urgency, which is a limited amount of time, so they've just got until the end of the month or end of the week, or you can use scarcity, which is a limited number of spots available. And so this can also help create that FOMO and get people wanting to book in faster.
And I think the other thing to add in there is the lead up. So yes. In ChatGPT, talk about all those concerns and whatnot. Over the 8 weeks leading up to it, start seed plan with your clients. Do you have these concerns? Start educating them. Start showcasing before and after. Start showcasing testimonials so that when you do launch it, and you are launching, whether it be for urgency or scarcity, baby brain, you have already primed them to be thinking about what's happening, what's coming, and how they're actually feeling. And then, bam, when it's there in front of their face, like, oh gosh, this is exactly what I need.
Legit. It's like the more you remind people about things or you expose them to it, the more likely they are to actually consider it. And this is exactly what we're doing in this 5-part series. This 5-part series is actually 5 days in Vietnam with us. So each episode is based on each day at the retreat and the problems that we're solving. And so when you look at how you run your business, you have to be strategic. You can't just keep winging it all the time. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do, is actually get clear on your strategy. Stop copying what everyone else is doing, their prices, their descriptions, their marketing. Most of them suck and they're not actually making money. So here's how you're going to make money. Anyways, Ellie, I think it's really important for us to understand what the offer is, right? But if we have a team, the team might not understand how to sell it or how to communicate it to clients. And sometimes we put all this effort in, we might be marketing it everywhere, and then we feel like it flops. Your team can't sell what they don't understand. So how do we get staff to feel the value so they can communicate it and we see an increase in uptake in these offers or sales or whatever it is?
Yeah. So one of the first things I advise my clients to do is prior, so I'm talking 8 weeks prior or 4 weeks prior to you launching it, because it's all about the prep, it's all about the seed planting, and even in-house with your clients. I'll have my girls be aware of what that promo looks like 8 weeks out. So if they haven't experienced it, they're having an in-house experience. They're having the service done. And even if it is something like a Cosmolan peel or needling, whatever it might be, and they're actively having, an effect on their face, that in itself is marketing, because it leads the customer or client to ask, hey, what's going on? Oh, actually, I'm going through the process of my Cosmolan peel. So what's going to happen is this, this, this. So I think having them actually experience it and being able to talk to their clients about what they're doing, and then not to mention it's 8 weeks leading up beforehand, they're probably going to have had seen them again within that time frame. So they get to see firsthand what those results look like. I think that it's also important that your therapists track their journey, whether that be on social media or whether that be through photos, because there's nothing more powerful than showcasing what you've experienced. And I feel like our clients gain more trust in us when they know that we personally went through that and this is our outcome, or that we still struggle with it and this is how we maintain it. I always have my business owners, when we do a marketing plan or promo, I actually have them build it out on an A4. The name of the promo, the dates that the promo is happening, is there any pre-care that the clients are going to need? So if we are thinking that a client could benefit from it, are they primed or prepped ready for it. I actually map out the entire promo, who it's beneficial for, what's the outcome look like, what's the post products they need, and I hand that to them. It'll be stuck up the back, it'll be in their folder. I make sure that they're aware of the entire promo and its benefits. And I also, in amongst that, when the promo launches halfway through the month, I quiz them. So if from a business owner's perspective, I'm looking at the data, I'm looking at the figures where we should be sitting based off of the promo and how much we're wanting to sell because we're thinking about the business mindset, I am going into a morning huddle and quizzing the girls. What's the top 3 products the clients need to prime? Because if they haven't taken note, why am I going to wait to the end of the month to make sure it's been successful? You obviously didn't understand this part, or you don't understand why we're doing this. And probably the third thing that I run through with the team is when we map out the actual promo and we hand them over the document so that they can read it, it's showing the actual staff member the value that we're adding to the client and how we're not necessarily going to have this big discount, or you're getting this for free or we're getting that for free. It's actually value stacking that if we were to go from the start to finish and we've incorporated all the products, we value stacked everything, the results that they're going to get are going to be so much bigger than just booking a product or booking a treatment, here, there, and anywhere. It's so important, though, that when we do run a promo or a sale, that your team is across the board, because if they're not, it's as good as nothing, really.
Yeah.
And following up on your team, making sure that your team are aware and they understand and they've seen it, they've viewed it, they can explain it, they can perform it. And most, like we run over, they value it. They genuinely value what they're going to be able to provide for that client.
100%. Like, I'm really excited because I know at our retreat, we're going to spend an entire day helping you craft your signature offer. Not just something that sounds cute on a menu or website, but a premium service that's price modeled for profit and positioned with magnetic marketing. So you'll walk away knowing exactly what you want to be known for, how to package and sell it effectively, and how to stand out as the go-to expert in your niche without needing to discount or justify your worth ever again.
And when you know how to plan, promote, and position your services strategically, you stop competing on price and start attracting the high-value clients who actually want what you're offering.
100%. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, but my clients are price sensitive. And if you've built your whole clientele off discounts, you're going to have a bit of a purging. You don't need all the clients, just the right ones. And I think so many of us get caught up in this, like, oh, all the clients are going to leave, like people won't buy me, all of those things. But I've seen it go the opposite way, to be honest. Like, I've had clients who said, I'm so scared to raise my prices. What if everyone leaves? Like, no one's going to rebook with me. I literally got this message from one of my clients, Glory, the other day. She was charging way too cheap for her services. Just to give you an idea, she was charging $120 for a full set of lashes, and it was taking 3 hours, and she was paying her staff a 60% commission. And I pretty much had a heart attack, and I just told her, like, you need to put your prices up. And she had to raise them, but like some of them were at least 30%. And it was very scary for her because it was like, oh my gosh, all these clients, like, they're not going to come back. Anyways, I checked in with her a couple of weeks ago after implementing the price increase, and like, good on her. She did not wait until the new financial year. She was like, okay, this just needs to be done this week. Like, seriously, can't hold off. She did it. This is the message I got. Hello, it's been going good. I'm still fully booked after increasing my prices. The girls didn't lose any clients after increasing prices, and rebooking rates have been higher. And I was like, fancy that.
Fancy that. I'm so glad you took my advice.
And I don't say that from a place of like ego or like I know better or anything like that. I'm just like, we get so caught up in thinking about the worst things that could happen. But I remember reading this quote, and I'm going to say this over and over again, like, put your prices up and 100% of problems will literally go away. Like, if you have nightmare clients, if you're struggling in business, if you're barely making a profit, like, put your prices up. Most of your problems will go away.
And some people don't, like, this was one of my clients we were looking at. She only wanted to do 5 hours a day and 4 days a week. And the average client spend was, I think, 170. She wasn't leveraging off the products that she had. And I said, okay, well, if these are the hours we want to do, again, working mum, like most of us are in the industry when we, whether we're running businesses or we're sole traders in the industry. And she said to me, well, I'm scared to cut my hours because I'll lose a chunk of clients. I was like, yeah, but what about if we just leveraged off the clients that were happy to come in that time by literally buying one product? And you go from then 170 to 240, let's just say, which they're going to need anyway because you value the products that you put hand in hand. And all of a sudden, you don't need more clients. You need to leverage and show the value in what you've got in the current clients that you already have. And just like that, I think that alone made I go, oh, well, yeah, like I don't have to do 7 to 12 or, 9 hours every day based off of 140. I can actually actively work from this perspective and obviously price increase, valuing her time too and what she's got to offer her clients.
Oh, 100%. Very smart. I love it.
All right, let's run with a rapid fire round, shall we?
Let's go.
All right, questionnaire. What do you say when someone asks, why is your pricing higher than others? Ugh. What do you say?
Because we're the best.
Oh.
Best quality, best prices. We pay our staff above award wage. They don't leave every 3 months because I'm a terrible boss and I underpay and undervalue them. Invest in upskilling, because I'm not trying to compete with the cheapest. I'm not trying to compete with the people who don't value themselves. I'm here because I'm the best at what I do. And I know if you go somewhere else, you're going to end up regretting it and coming back.
Ooh, and on that regret note, I'm going to ask another one. On that regret note, what's the cheapest service you've offered and you regretted?
In the early days, I offered $50 lash extensions.
Ouch.
And I didn't do it as an intro offer. I just put it as $50 for a full set of lash extensions. So what happened is I got 12 bookings within the week and I think only 3 of them showed up. Everyone was like, it was so cheap. Why would I even bother? And then the fact that I didn't call it an introductory offer when I tried to put my prices at 100 or 150, people kicked back because they were like, oh my gosh, that was such a big jump. And I was like, so I only got that kickback because I attracted the very bottom line of people who would get lash extensions. I'm talking people who are on Centrelink, don't work and expect everything to be free. They're going into a discount store to the discount aisle. It's just the bottom barrel of society that want everything and expect it to cost nothing. And that was the biggest regret I had because I didn't understand how to increase my confidence and value. So anytime I talk to someone who's new in the industry, I say, look, you can't charge premium prices. You don't have the skill set yet. But what we do instead is we go first 10 clients, 50% off. Next 10 clients, you could go 40% off or 30% off. And so you build up your clientele and your confidence and then slowly your prices. So you see that path to progression. But yeah, $50 lash sets for 3 months, just trying to get clients in. I was getting a lot of inquiries, but a lot of no-shows too.
I feel like the biggest myth about discounting to get more clients, you just answered as well.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That was the next question. Ellie, your turn. What's the moment you realized value sells more than price ever could?
Probably the time that we sat down and mapped out all of my offers. We mapped out all of my prices. And I remember thinking, wow, are people really going to pay that for what I have to give them? And then when I started just getting clients and they weren't even batting an eyelid after I'd had that conversation. And I mean, when I would onboard a client, I would take the same approach that you did, which is exactly what your testimonial kind of said about how, there was no pressure. It was just offering as much value as you could to your client and showing them how much you could help them with. That was probably the moment that I realized that as long as you show them all the value you can offer them, price really doesn't matter if it solves their problems.
That's such a good answer. I love that. I'm even thinking about if you're in the DMs with a client and they're asking you or coming to you with I've been struggling with this for years, this rosacea, this acne flare up, and you actually sit down there and ask them questions and give value, you've already won the booking versus the other person who just said, this is my price, here's the booking link.
Yes. And that also links in with, I know we're rapid fire questions, but that also links in with my converting, like a high converting consultation. Asking enough questions to really find the value so that when you deliver them the answer, they see the value in it because you've asked enough questions to find all the solutions to their problems.
Oh,
All right.
100%.
Your secret weapon when it comes to creating offers that convert.
Marketing messaging. The price could be whatever, but it's actually the marketing messaging, how well you can communicate the value of your offer. So I am a big perfectionist when it comes to nailing my marketing messaging. I'm always testing, refining, seeing what gets more engagement, saves, conversions, and then always doubling down on that and getting rid of the things that aren't hitting the mark. So I'll give you an example. Booked Backed and In Demand. I had all my messaging set up and I was selling it from the perspective of it's going to help you attract clients, get fully booked, understand how to rebook them, and then outsource to a VA. But after having the conversation with the clients who have done it and asking what they found value in and what they took away from it, I found out that I've got my messaging wrong and I need to revamp it. It's actually about how to hire a VA and giving them a system to get the clients rebook and scale your business. And so it's always good to trial and test different things because sometimes you won't get it right the first time. And I know messaging makes a huge difference. It's not about how pretty your before and afters are anymore or how many screenshot testimonials you have. It's actually about being able to communicate your value, the transformation, and what makes you different from every other option on the market. Okay, Ellie, to kind of give our listeners our own perspective on things that we've found valuable throughout our lifetime, I'm going to ask you, what's the most valuable thing you've ever bought and why? And I want you to do it for a service, a product, and an experience.
All right. I don't want to be wanky, guys, but the most valuable service I ever purchased, this is going to sound so wanky, was Sammy, because like I've said in these podcasts before, I really was at a halt in where I was going. A halt? Is that a word? Is that no?
You're at a roadblock?
Roadblock. My head is at a roadblock with this pregnancy, so forgive me. We're all human. I was at a roadblock with where I was moving forward, and if I had not invested in the services that Sammy could provide me, I do not think that I would be where I am today. So that's probably the most valuable service that I purchased. Mm-hmm. Product in the beauty world, I want to say laser hair removal or my Botox. Granted, I don't have any at the moment, which I'm dying because, oh my gosh, laser hair removal, to not have to think about your underarms or Brazilian is the best thing ever. And obviously Botox because Lord knows we're going to stay young in this game. And my most valuable experience, hands down, would be choosing Elli Lucas as the college that I attended to get my diploma in beauty therapy, because Elli Lucas, if you don't know them, do I even know you? Elli Lucas takes you everywhere and you get to experience so much at Elli Lucas. We toured all through the Whitsundays, Hamilton, Hayman, Port Douglas, Palm Cove. Wherever you go with Elli Lucas, you go international, Europe, you get the best experience. And when you go to these places as well, mind you, like I think it was like we started college and then we went off for a spa tour straight away off the bat because like we know, it's so important that you know what that service feels like and the experience feels like, and that sets the level for what you're going to, deliver to your clients. So I remember like going on the spa tour, like maybe 2 weeks in, like I don't think we even knew all the girls that we were with, and we were having the most incredible, sensational treatments. And I still remember my first ever massage, and it was sensational. So I think my most valuable experience would be attending Elli Lucas. And when you're...
How much does it cost to go and be a student there? Are they the premium, most expensive in the market?
100% they are. When I attended...
It's worth it.
It wasn't as much when I attended because I'm a dinosaur now, but it is, but 100% it's worth it. Like they're taking you to Europe. They are showing you, if you're an Elli Lucas girl, and it doesn't... I'm not saying if you're not an Elli Lucas girl, you can't go places, but Alex knows the best of the best. If you went to Alex and you said, I cannot find a job, I don't know where to look, he will have 10 places that are exceptional. And I'm talking in Mykonos. I'm talking in Sydney. I'm talking like, do you want a day spa? Do you want a clinic? Where do you want to go? He has the connection. So once you're an Ali Lucas gal, you will always be an Ali Lucas girl.
That really just draws the parallel or contrast from trying to do the cheapest training you could on some online course versus paying a premium price and getting a premium experience. Like, you really do pay for what you get. And I think that there's been a lifelong impact of that training in your life, because I know last year you got flown to ABR, you got to hang out with the whole Ellie Lucas crew, you've had presenting opportunities. Like, there's so much that's come from it that has been able to help you with your career now, versus if you just did a cheap online course that didn't invest or give those opportunities. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the cheap online courses, but I'm just saying, like, if it's cheap, it doesn't have the same value. A premium price, a premium offer, a premium experience, it's going to cost more, but it might actually be an investment, not a cost, because it's investing in your future opportunities, future connections, future wealth creation. So it's like,
and a benchmark for yourself, because Ali Lucas stems from his mother's finishing school. And sorry, we're going into an Ali Lucas rant here. I really didn't need to. We're an hour in. But, the expectation for you to meet that benchmark from a professional perspective as well. Like, you show up with a full face of makeup, your red lipstick, your hair tied back in a neat bun, your shoes are polished white. You are graded on your appearance. And that alone has a massive impact, because if I had anyone rock up in my clinic that didn't look fully polished, there's no chance that I was going to hire them. You can go to TAFE and you can go scrubby, or you can fully embody what a beauty therapist should come out looking like. Anyway, let me ask you the questions now, because I've gone on because I love I love that. What is your most valuable thing that you've ever brought, and why? Service, product, experience? Hit me with them, girlfriend.
Service, I think, is investing in my PT or my mindset coach. And for me, the PT, because of going to all these different PTs, like very bro gym, super strong, but like not sculpted, not considering like my hormones, my period, my eating habits and everything like that. So really dialing in my fitness and nutrition and looking snatched has been 100% worth it for me. Helps me so much. And then like mindset coach, I think I've spoken about it on the podcast, but this time probably last year I got a mindset coach because I was going through like the thick of bowling in terms of we were at the stage of pretty much going bankrupt. I was just so numb, so stressed, just in this state of fight or flight. And like that mindset coach helped me probably save sabotaging myself, my relationship, everything around me. So yeah, I saw that as one of the best investments I made for myself, and it set me up for a successful year this year and helped me get out of my own way. And I've just started mindset coaching again because I want to prepare myself for an even better year next year. So those are two things that really stand out for me from a service perspective, because it's given me a whole life transformation. Product, probably my laptop. MacBook Air, like MacBook Pro, like this laptop has allowed me to generate hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in my business journey across multiple businesses. Like, it's been such a valuable tool, and crazy that I can take it with me anywhere. You're
making me sound so superficial. I'm like, my Botox, and you're like, my laptop from a business perspective, but girls got goals.
Like, I can go anywhere and I can help someone, or I can put all my ideas together. It has my whole life on here. Like, my laptop has been so valuable to me in so many ways. And then experience, I think going and traveling has been the best experience. I don't have one that's really stood out to me because they've all taught me different life lessons. And I think those experiences have shaped me into who I am today in terms of how I view things, what I value, how I treat people, having more empathy. And, maybe we're at different stages of our lives and we value different things. But for me, like, those are the things that really stand out for me. It wasn't a Gucci handbag. It wasn't a Range Rover. It wasn't Botox.
Okay.
No, just kidding. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I am once again calling you in to join us in Vietnam for the Beauty Industry Leaders Retreat in February 2026. We have so much to offer you. Like I'm telling, if you've worked with me, if you've seen what I post on Instagram, if you've seen what I put here, if you've seen what Elli's done, like you're getting all the resources. Like instead of doing all these short courses and group coaching programs, like come spend 5 days with us in person and we will give you everything. So you're set up, but you're also going to implement and get shit done. Not wait until next month, next year. After kids, after they finish high school, after I finish whatever. Like there's always going to be an excuse. Get rid of that because this is the time we're making it happen. We'll help you design a signature offer, profit-proof your pricing, and build a marketing plan that makes discounts optional but not essential. So head to the link in the show notes or DM us Retreat on Instagram for the behind-the-scenes details. We do have a landing page that you can check out in the show notes that has all the information. Then you can put your details in. You'll get sent the business retreat form, application form, and then also the info guide where it has everything there. And like I was saying, I'm going to do some mini series on how to get cheaper flights because I literally have price hacked it. Like I know how to get flights for half the price. So we'll see you in part 3 where we reveal how the smartest CEOs turn funnels into high value client magnets without living on Instagram 24/7.
Amen. And before we go, if you are loving the show and tuning into weekly episodes, we want to know who you are. If you haven't already, please take a moment to go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review about what you're enjoying the most. You'll go in the draw to win, like Sammy said at the start of the episode, to win a complimentary one-on-one session with both Sammy and myself to celebrate the Beauty Industry Leaders podcast hitting, you heard it, 10K downloads. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Audience exclusive.